Hello, my name is Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about evil spirits. And why would I be talking about this? Well, you have to know your enemy to get rid of it, and they're not really much of an enemy because a little spoiler about evil spirits is they're very, very easily taken care of. But if you don't take care of them, then you'll be among more than half the world who just deals with evil spirits, and then something so small can basically run people's lives. Now, what is an evil spirit? Good question. Well, there's several different kinds of evil spirits. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about why am I talking about evil spirits, because when you know it's being kept away and you know how it behaves, once you know how something that tries to get you to not get ahead behaves, then you can change your patterns, you can change your protections, which I'll talk about how to get rid of evil spirits altogether, and you're just going to get ahead. Now, we're on the earthly plane, so there's no 100% avoiding evil spirits, although there's a crystal such as black tourmaline that makes them pretty much vulnerable, useless. They're pretty weak as it is, but we're just here with them because we're on Earth. That's a part of it. You're a spirit watching this video, you're just a spirit in flesh. Those are evil spirits that don't have flesh anymore. And back to that point. So yeah, that's a really good point. So, what's an evil spirit? An evil spirit could have been someone in life who was just a really nasty person. And people have a tendency to think that, oh, heaven's what you make of it. Hell is what you make of it. And these people will, because heaven and hell are real places, and if you don't think that now, you'll find out in the afterlife. Most of these evil spirits have found out. They're like, uh-oh, I'm straight back here. I'm going to have to wait until Judgment Day. Uh-oh. And these spirits are stuck. And the people who are miserable, horrible, bad people become earthbound. It's because their soul didn't reach the heavens. And judging on what I see just from the spirits stuck here, because we're not 100% allowed to know everything, I believe these spirits are just basically stuck until Judgment Day, until they're fully judged, until they either... I don't know what happens to them. Judgment is God's. Now, for whatever reason, they're here. And this, I'm going to talk so much about spirits in this video, evil spirits in this video. But the thing with evil spirits is a lot of them are just, they'll get into the afterlife. And there's two common denominators of feelings that evil spirits feel. If you're a good person and you're close to God, and you have Jesus in your life, or because there's different parts of the world. I can't just teach one practice because I have a lot of people who come to me from the other part of the world where they practice their forms of moving closer to God, and God comes in different ways, okay? Mainly, I'm a Christian, so I follow Jesus. So that's how I follow it, and I'll find a way to teach about that in the future, but right now I'm focusing on moving people closer to God and to move closer to their angels. So... and my angel said, if you don't teach it right, don't teach it at all. So I'm figuring out how to word it, because even if I misword it even just a little bit, then I'm responsible. That's the thing about it being a spiritual teacher, is you're responsible for everything you say. That's why when you guys watch Florida Stone Man's YouTube channel, everything is say, even from a year from now, I still back the first things I've ever said and the first things I've ever taught. Information's added to it because it upgrades with time. But the thing is, as a spiritual teacher, you can go on other YouTubers' channels and you'll see them contradicting each other in past videos versus present videos. And you're like, it's not necessarily adding on to information. This person's disagreeing with themselves from 3 years ago. What happened? That means that their point wasn't really stable. And it's something that they shouldn't even taught, because you're using something that they would have argued with themselves and they act like they don't know, etc. You won't find that on my channel, and I'll make sure of that, because you guys are getting actual information. Back to evil spirits. What's an evil spirit? They get here on this plane of existence after leaving. They go into the afterlife. They think they're supposed to go to heaven, or heaven's what they make of it, but they actually get back here. And it's horrible for them. And I've actually seen certain visions of when spirits arrive to afterlife. They're one. The two denominators that I was talking about, one. They get angry. They're just like, this is it? This is my afterlife? I went from Earth to being here? I can't do anything here. And they'll flip out. These things will flip out. And I say things because they used to be human. They were a rotten person. They treated people badly. They had no God in their life. They get to the afterlife and they're angry. It's like, what? And they take it out on you guys. You ever wonder why some of these spirits are so angry? Like, what are you mad about? Like, leave me alone. Well, with Black Tourmaline, Florida Stone Man's Black Tourmaline, they'll leave you alone. But these spirits will get into the afterlife and they can see people who are of low vibrations. Doesn't that add up, guys? And you're like, oh, that's why we have to raise our vibrations. Oh, so these things can't get a grip on us as much, so they can't perceive us. Some of these people on this earth already, people in the flesh, because you guys watching my videos, you are spirits, you have spirits, there's good spirits, there's bad spirits. In future videos, I'll talk more about good spirits because they're completely different. They elevate differently in the afterlife too. So if you ever wonder what someone who's a rotten person will do when they get in the afterlife, they're stuck back here. And it's not very fun for them. Let's just say that. Let's just say their power is gone. Their power and energy is flat out gone. You get energy from eating, they get energy from other people here who are alive. So what will those evil spirits do? They'll get into your life because they can get energy from it. You ever wonder what's making certain children have nightmares? It's evil spirits because they farm that energy. So when this spirit gives a child nightmares for about 3 months straight, 6 months, and then you don't do anything about it, then a year goes by, the fear that comes off the child is fed to the spirit. Now that the spirit has an identity in the spiritual realm here. Ooh, very interesting, right? What do you mean an identity in the spiritual realm here? Now that thing has enough energy to maybe leave or start doing more, depending on what they want to do, because evil spirits have desires. They have earthly desires. So if an evil spirit, and demons will not be haunting children. They have better things to be doing, and there's certain spiritual laws that prevent them from that. In this video, demons don't really make it into this category because we're talking about evil spirits, which I'll talk about demons in future videos and how to get rid of them. It's a lot easier than you guys think, but if you're doing bad, then they're going to be stuck with you because your actions call them. And moving yourself closer to God and to Jesus, and to just, I mean, like I said, in everyone's different religion, there's different ways you guys move yourself closer, because I have friends in a whole different part of the world who don't have access to the same religions here, or religion here, okay? Or the different subsections. So I won't get into that. But the thing is, when you are just vulnerable and you don't have God in your life, these things can do a whole lot more. These spirits, evil spirits, have to follow a spiritual law. They do. Why is it when you throw sea salt, they have to go? It's because they can't bypass the law. It's like you trying to put your hand in fire is the same thing an evil spirit trying to cross a line of salt. Same thing with wearing black tourmaline. It's like putting their hand in fire that doesn't go in. It's kind of like hitting a wall that it can't go through it. Okay? So these things follow a law because they can't break it. It's like their law of physics on their side is completely different, but we kind of know it here. But we know it, but we don't really know it at the same time. Okay? Now, when it comes to this is a cool video because you guys get to really learn the dynamics of evil spirits, and I'm specifically talking about earthbounds. There's other subsections of spirits that are the Fae. Those things are insects. You can just kill them off. Iron gets rid of them very easily. Very easy. Iron and steel gets rid of Fae very easily. Like, they're just very vulnerable against that. So if you start seeing those mushroom rings, just throw some iron. They'll be gone. They're not Tinkerbell either. People are like, oh, you're killing Tinkerbell. No, they look like cockroaches with faces. If you've ever seen one, it's like, ugh, what is that? Like, ugh. You're not Tinkerbell. I've seen some of these Fae, and they're disgusting looking. They're quick, and they're disgusting. I'd rather see a flying cockroach, okay? But at least when you see them, you can get rid of them. But back to my topic. When it comes to, and there's a different kind of spirit as well. So there's just I'm not going to go too deep into depth on this, but the evil spirits that are just categorized as evil spirits, as Nephilim, they still roam the earth, okay? The Bible talks about that. I'm not going to go too deep into depth, but when someone has that kind of spirit on them, their footsteps are very heavy. That person breaks everything. They're angry. They eat lots of meat. They're the way they come off in a personality is very carnivore-like. So that person more likely has a spirit of that around them, because that energy still sticks around. Okay, and it's really haunting people still. So one symptom is when someone walks ridiculously heavy, they break stuff, they act kind of like it's not human-like, it's just something else. So you can tell certain spirits on certain people, but when someone acts human-like but just flat out angry and it's not a spirit of a Nephilim, then that person will have a spirit of someone who's just really angry when they died. And that's why a lot of people, when they get possessed by a spirit, or because the easiest way to get possessed by a spirit is to be drinking and to be mad. Okay? So when you're drinking and you're mad, the thing will come out and it will be angry. It'll be yelling and screaming, and the person they'll legitimately not remember it, because it was more so like that person's consciousness switched over for a second for the spirit to come through. And that's how some, how do I say this? There's like TikTok mediums who are like very young will channel random spirits. They're most likely channeling an evil spirit or a neutral spirit, which I don't believe in neutral, because those things always decide to do what's in their best motive, and they'll just farm energy. If you get the goal of a spirit, it's to farm energy. How can a spirit farm energy? Giving you nightmares, giving you car problems. An evil spirit will get into relationships, break the relationships up. So when all this yelling and screaming and chaos is going on, all a fae has to do, aka a fairy, all it has to do is, and sometimes evil spirits will do this too, they'll hide your keys when you're trying to leave. Do you know how much chaos that creates? How do you get around that? You create more of a schedule, you get more into an organized pattern, etc. But the thing with evil spirits, imagine that you're trying to leave your house and you have to be at some place at some time. You can't find your keys for 30 minutes. You know what kind of day you're having? Now you're having a negative day. Your vibration dropped. You're more like, they can perceive you more. You're more able to be seen by them, felt by them. And they're like, okay, cool, got them where I want them. And they'll do a whole bunch more. They'll, from there, and that, one thing that's really interesting, curse words actually like it's literally a evil spirit caller. That's why they're called curse words. And yeah, curse words are always going to be curse words. Your intention actually never changes the curse word, because the curse word was around way longer than you were. So yeah, when it comes to curse words, it literally calls evil spirits. Like, they're like, oh, it perks their ears up. Like when a cat hears someone opening a door, it's like, I can't do that, but you guys get it. So that's 100% of the time when you guys start cursing, something will happen. If you don't see it, it'll still happen. If you see it, it'll happen. But pay attention to when something bad happens. And for the people who can't stop cursing, when you curse, it just gets worse. If you stop cursing, it starts getting better, because you didn't feed that energy. Now, there's so many different categories of spirits. I can't go through all of them. There's like the category of the lost. So basically spirits who have been around for so long that they're just flat out, they're kind of animal-like. They're primitive. So basically, they're a lot more angry. They're a lot more animalistic. Not like Nephilim spirits, where these things are like, they think they act bigger than they are sometimes, just to cause havoc. And it will scare people. So sometimes they'll move stuff. They'll slap stuff around, etc. The more angrier they are, the more you'll see hauntings go on, but the more easier that they are to get rid of. So sea salt is very easy to get rid of evil spirits. Burning sage calls spirits to you. Yeah. So if you know anything about the spiritual realm, when you burn sage, it helps call in your ancestors who couldn't normally approach you with more energy before, and it armors them to help you get rid of the evil spirits. So it's like calling in extra spirits to remove certain spirits, and then you would do something after, like frankincense and myrrh, palo santo, dragon's blood, ginger, etc. to get rid of it. Rosemary is a big one to get rid of the evil spirits, but sage is not actually how you cleanse your house. It's not. It's really not. You want to cleanse your house, do a floor wash, use black tourmaline in your front door. You can infuse black tourmaline in a floor wash, which I have taught on my channel, and then you wash your house with it. Black tourmaline gets rid of 100% of every evil spirit. I have it on my website, floridastoneman.com. Black tourmaline is, if the spirit has any bad intention, any form of manipulation, any form of harm, it cannot get through black tourmaline. By spiritual law, it cannot get through. It can get through any other crystal. Mostly any other crystal. But black tourmaline is very special. No evil spirit or any kind of spirit, even if the spirit's neutral and it's generally good sometimes, it can't get through the black tourmaline. Black tourmaline has enough energy to block 5G. The radiation from your phone, yeah, it blocks that. The same way it blocks evil spirits. The same way it blocks bad people. How can an evil spirit get through black tourmaline? When things happen with black tourmaline, it's because, and I'm going to put this together for you. Basically, if you know melee and ranged characters in a video game, one's the warrior. It hits against you with a sword. The other one has to shoot arrows, right? So basically, the evil spirit is forced to go from a warrior to a ranged character. So they have to do stuff from a range. They have to do stuff from far away to be able to get the energy of your tourmaline to drop so that it's filling up with energy. So it's filling up with negative energy until the point where it's overwhelmed. And it's like, okay, this tourmaline is not the same tourmaline because it's not cleansed and charged. And guess what? The defense of the black tourmaline has been dropped, and they can start trying to get in. It's not fun for them to get in. It's actually a very miserable process for them, but it's not fun. In essence, because I might make a part 2 to this, but it's a really interesting video. Evil spirits are flat out weak. They're easily to get rid of. Even if you walk into a room, if you're like, evil spirits are like, look at them, and you'll hear the evil spirit. Well, hopefully you won't, because God will armor your angels to block it. But evil spirits they're gossipy. They talk a lot. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, look who's coming, and they'll move around. They'll hide around certain people. They'll attach themselves to certain people. Except there's so much about evil spirits, but it doesn't matter because when you wear black tourmaline, they're disgusted by it. They can't approach you. This crystal's awesome. You can get it from my website, floridastoneman.com. There's 100,000 other ways to get rid of evil spirits, which I've taught on my channels. A bunch of other crystals. Black tourmaline is always going to be king. Black tourmaline and clear quartz are wonderful. Now, what else should you know about evil spirits? They'll just try to inconvenience you. They'll do the most to have you bad things happen. If you're not praying, if you're not talking to God, they can get through more. If you're using black tourmaline, which God has made for us to use, that's a piece of armor, okay? God makes armor in the ground for us, black tourmaline. And we use it, plus when we pray, it adds to it. So everything comes together. It's like multiple layers, okay? I hope I taught this video in a way you guys can understand it. There's a chance this video could need a part 2. I don't think it needs a part 2, but if you would like a part 2, I'll make a part 2. But it's really easy to get rid of them. Wear black tourmaline and cleanse and charge it daily. Sunlight's the best way to cleanse and charge black tourmaline. Sunlight will just flat out, like it adds extra energy to the tourmaline for it to defend. And this stone is just such a miracle crystal. It's awesome. Black tourmaline's awesome. The biggest objective of an evil spirit when you're wearing black tourmaline is to get it off of you. You know why? Because it can do something then. Even if you have a crystal such as onyx, obsidian, seraphinite, all these other crystals don't compare to black tourmaline. Black tourmaline has 2 effects. The sponge effect, which anything the evil spirit has done is sucked into the stone. And then the barrier effect. So anything doesn't get through, but if the wall starts coming down, then it can. But are you immune? Let me answer this one question because people always ask just one question. Are you immune to 100% of every evil spirit when you wear black tourmaline? No, because we're on the earthly plane, but they are rendered helpless and useless when you use this crystal. I'm going to tell you how weak an evil spirit is. If you scream at them, they run out the room. You can cleanse. This is one last secret I'll drop in my video. You can cleanse a room by screaming at the spirits to get out. Hey, get out! And they're like, I mean, the spirits will gather up and they'll freak out and they'll leave. That's why when you see people doing certain cleansings, they're like, ah! Or when certain people come around, the spirits will bolt. But if you have any questions, guys, ask them in the comments section. I could talk about this for another hour. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.